Thank you so much for watching WRIF TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview. Hey, Bryan, how you doing, man?
Good. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here. St. Andrews Hall, you're coming through the Motor City. Is that the start of the tour?
For
December 2nd?
I believe it is. Yeah, I think the first show's in Detroit.
Is that your next show? Because I didn't see any other tour dates on your website.
You know what? I think it is our next show.
Okay. You're gonna spend some time at home in Thanksgiving and trying to dodge these storms, apparently, right?
Yeah, the November hurricanes.
Yeah. So how's 2022 been for you so far as we close out the year?
I think it's been our best year yet. We put out the coolest album that we've ever made. We've done a lot of really cool tours, and I feel like we made a lot of new fans, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, and especially, of course, you played here at Riff Fest. You opened up the, or I don't know, did you guys open up or you guys play second on the main stage?
We played second on the main stage.
Second, yeah. So, but I saw part of your set there, and it is cool to get out there in front of all those other people, especially in the festival-like situations, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's definitely as a singer, going up early and before everyone's had their drinks.
Yeah.
It's you really got to work the crowd. You got to really work your magic on them.
I was going to say before they had their drinks, that could be good or that could be bad, depending on which way it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd rather them have a couple.
Yeah. What kind of frontmen inspired you growing up?
There's a couple different people, but a big one is Matt Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. Just his charisma on stage, the way he talks to the audience, how he's just comfortable up there. I love that. Another one that might be a little weird is Randy Blight, because he's crazy.
Yeah, he's intense on stage. Yeah,
dude I don't even know how old right now, but he wears fucking knee pads on stage and he just goes crazy and he's just screaming his face off and he's getting all these fans to do everything that he wants. And yeah, I just watching him on stage is just super inspiring.
Yeah, I ran into M Shadows. This is a weird story. Last year at Kid Rock's house down in Nashville, I didn't even know who he was. I said to one of my friends, I go, who is that guy getting pictures taken with these kids? And, around Rock's house, there's different people that show up. And my friend goes, I don't know, he's in some sort of band. And I saw his tattoo on his hand. We ended up talking for like an hour and a half. I didn't even recognize him.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. Was he incognito?
Well, not really. I mean, he had a hat on and stuff, but he had this this nondescript coat, and then Ric Flair shows up. It's hard to top Ric Flair, I suppose. But
wow, yeah, I feel like whenever a singer wears a hat, it's incognito.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. I mean, when I wear a hat all the time because I'm just I don't want to be talked to.
Are you
on a day-to-day basis?
Are you kind of a shy in person or?
No, I think it just depends on my mindset and what I'm doing. If I'm at the grocery store, I'm gonna be real awkward with you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the experience that you want. But if I just played a show,
right?
If I'm at a show and I'm expecting, people to come up and talk to me, then yeah, I'll be super cool. But it depends on the mindset. If I'm walking around in sweatpants and in a hat, I'm not a singer right now. I'm just a normal civilian.
Civilian, yeah. So tell me about Welcome to the Chaos. Was this your guys' pandemic record?
Yeah, it was actually. It was cool. Pandemic allowed us to sit down and really focus on what we wanted to create. We didn't feel rushed, anything like that. We took forever on it and, it consumed a good year and a half of our lives, but luckily we had that time just to sit down and make something awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this or not, but I interview a lot of rock bands, and a lot of rock bands have the same kind of story. It's like they had time to sit with their records to kind of go over them, make some changes. And sometimes I'm assuming that could be bad or that could be good.
Yeah, I think it was good because you look at all the most recent rock songs and rock albums that have come out post COVID, and there's some really heavy hitters now. In the rock world, the biggest struggle for the rock world used to be nobody could write a good chorus or a catchy chorus, or they couldn't write a catchy song. And now it's everybody came out and they're like, this is the catchiest album you've ever heard. Next artist comes out, this is the catchiest album you've ever heard. And it's all cool. It's all awesome.
And then Spencer from Ice Nine Kills joins you on a track. So how does that come about?
So right, the first tour, I like to say it's like the first real tour we had because we've done like smaller tours and stuff like that, but the first real tour that we had was planned out to be us and Ice Nine Kills and a couple other bands. And so when we were writing Welcome to the Chaos, like, you know, we wrote the chorus and we had the first verse and everything like that, and we're just like, yo, you know, it'd be sick. Like, we're going on tour with Ice Nine Kills. Let's see if we can get Spencer on a song.
Mm.
Like, let's see if we can get Spencer on this song because it just made sense. It's very theatrical. So the main goal of the entire tour was to become friends with Spencer, to get Spencer to feature on the song. And we so you know, a couple days into the tour, you know, we start talking to Spencer, whatever. And you know, just become buddy buddy with him. And you know, eventually we asked him, it's like, hey, would you be down to be featured on one of our songs? And he goes, well, send it over to me. If I like it, sure. You know, but you know, no promises there. I
Mm.
I get it. Like, if I wouldn't want to be on a song that wasn't good either. So
Right.
he ended up liking it, and after we did the second tour with them, he went back to his studio in LA and recorded it, sent it over to us, and we are like, this is sick.
Yeah, I guess that knowing Spencer and knowing like what his band brings and whatnot, I guess you guys not that no matter what he sent you would have been great, but you knew it was going to be killer. But what if he sent you something you're like, man, I don't know about this.
That would be terrible.
Yeah.
But I don't know, actually. That's not I don't know. I just I don't live in a world where that happened, luckily, but um we would probably have to be like, hey, do it again.
I had one of my friends, he had all these collaborators on his record, and he's like, "Man, I didn't think about it till I started getting stuff back." I'm like, "What if somebody sends me something I don't like?" It's like, yeah, that's a real problem if that's your record.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, we weren't too crazy picky about it. Like, we let artists be artists.
Right.
But if you really want somebody to write something that you'll like, then you should probably just write the part for them.
Yeah, right. I got you. So you guys have been around for almost 10 years, right?
Yeah, we've
And
been
you
around a
you're
while.
you're based out of Florida?
Yep.
Yeah. And so what are some of the highlights that you guys have had so far in your career?
Well, we sat around for a lot of years, didn't do a lot. We were very, very focused on being just an internet band. We weren't touring, we weren't doing really anything. I would say I'd say like Fame on Fire really came into being like a legitimized band when we started putting out like singles back in 2018.
Yeah, I
So
was
it's
gonna say just a few years back. So how did it work when you guys were doing this internet thing?
So we were just doing covers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, that was our thing. It's like we were just doing covers, and I'm not gonna lie, like, it paid the bills. You know, we were able to no one worked a normal job,
Mhm.
and it was really cool to be able to do that and like bring income in by doing covers. But you know, it got to the point where it's like, okay, why are we doing these covers? We started doing these covers to create original music, to tour, to do all these things that we want to do to be a legitimized band. So we we started doing like putting out original music in 2018, and that got us signed to Hopeless. And from there, Hopeless was like, okay, you have to do an album. And we're like, okay, cool. So we put out our first like song from the album, and it did phenomenal. Um, and then we went on a little tour, and then COVID happened. And
Yeah.
so then we were just sat inside. So I mean, like, we were getting ready to gear up and start doing the touring thing in 2020, but COVID happened. We didn't get back out there till 2021. And so now the past year and a half of touring, it's been a roller coaster because we've been on the road a lot, played a lot of shows. It's been awesome, honestly.
And I have to imagine that one of the highlights has to be putting out that record.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, the second album, like, the first album was cool, and we put it out in the middle of COVID because we are like, okay, we already started working on the second album. We're like, we need to just get this out. We need
Mhm.
to get this out because or else we're gonna have so much backed up material and content. So we put out the first record during COVID. Whatever, is what it is. Gear up for the second record.
Yeah, and I love the title of it because I was always taught, like, for example, like my podcast is called Talk and Rock. I mean, you know what that accompanies, right?
Yes,
Pretty much you talk rock, right? Welcome to
exactly.
the Chaos. It's like you're not going to put that on there and just hear, love songs.
Yeah,
It,
exactly.
it has like a point.
I don't think there's not a single love song. They tried to get me to do one. I said no.
Yeah. Speaking of covers, you guys covered Nickelback. And by the way, Rockstar you know, people can say what they want about Chad and Nickelback and the whole thing. Personally, I really like the guys. I've met them a few times. They're super nice. But that song's a well-written song, isn't it?
Oh, phenomenal song. Like that song, like I'm telling you, people could hate on Nickelback all they want. They really could. But at the end of the day, they write amazing music. They write really, really catchy songs. And Rockstar is just one of those classic songs that to me, everybody knows the words to it. Love them or hate them. And I just think it's one of those songs that goes down in history.
Yeah. So I'm talking to Chad coming up here in a couple hours. So what would you ask Chad? I'll ask him if he's ever heard your version, by the way. But anyways, what else?
Yeah, ask him if he's ever heard our version. But I don't know. I just want to say keep bringing out the heavy music because I know that they're really into like heavier music. And so the new record, fire.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of stuff on stage, because those guys have been on stage there. I saw you tweet something out a few weeks back about you played a show where you couldn't curse on stage.
Oh yeah.
Does that happen quite a bit?
No, that's the first time it ever happened. It was at so you know when you do the radio circuit and you're going to radio stations, you get used to like not cursing
On the air, right?
on the air.
Yeah.
Although I've done it twice now.
Yeah.
Um, go me. But I was also told that nobody works at the FCC, so it doesn't matter. Uh, so yeah, Madison, Wisconsin. They're like, yeah, you can't curse on the stage.
That was a radio show?
It was a radio show, yeah.
It seems kind of strange. Okay, but anyways, go ahead.
But so I was like, okay, whatever. So yeah, I went on stage and we have a song that's called Cutthroat, and literally the lyrics, can I curse? I can curse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The starting line is fuck you.
Oh yeah.
Chorus's line is fuck you.
Yeah.
It was
That's one of my grandma's favorite songs, by the way. But go ahead. I digress.
Of course, yeah. And it was really awkward to sing, and it was really awkward to being on stage and going, "How you guys feeling?"
Yeah.
Like instead of "How the fuck you guys feeling?" Like there's just so much less like emphasis and hype, and it was hard.
Maybe you could have pulled a Christmas Story thing and said "fudge you."
Yeah, thought about it, dude. I was like, I just screamed, "I hate you." It was just weird. But so we get off the stage, and then right when we get off the stage, we're like going to merch to sign autographs and stuff like that. As we're walking, this woman holding her baby or her infant literally looks at me and she goes, "You guys are fucking sick." It's like, of course. Why couldn't I curse?
Was this at like a regular venue, like when you guys played Riff Fest, like at a shed?
No, it was one of those truck stages. It was like it was in Madison, Wisconsin at the Capitol, like looking at the Capitol building.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe it wasn't like a permanent fixture like at Riff Fest, you know, where you guys, you know, those are just actual concerts happening.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a venue per se. It was in the middle of downtown kind of, but it was cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the reason was. All I know is that Johnny Danger got up on stage and the first thing he says, "How the fuck we feeling?" I'm like, what's going on here? Why can you
You know, I've been in this business for 32 years and I kind of make it like a practice that I don't swear on stage because for me personally, not for rock bands, but for me, it's like, that's too easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with like morals or ethics. It's just like anyone can do that. So I just choose not to. That doesn't mean that off the air, I'm not like a drunken sailor, you know?
Of course. Yeah. You radio guys are very impressive because every time I do like, we go to a radio station, whatever, it's like, before we go live, it's just cursing. Live, perfect. I'm like, what? It's a switch. It's got to be.
Yeah, sometimes you have to pay attention and focus, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on for the rest of the year? You got this tour, and that's pretty much it. 2023. What do you got coming up?
2023. So after we do the Fall in Reverse dates, we're going to Shiprock, which is
that's cool. Yeah,
super cool. I can't
wait. Like February or something, right?
It's January.
Okay, January. Okay,
January. Yeah. So we're doing that, and then we have a couple of other like radio festivals scattered in between. I think there's actually a radio festival that we're playing right the day before Shiprock. So I play that, go to Shiprock. I'm gonna get trashed. Every set we do I'm just gonna be drunk.
No swearing, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, no swearing. I never swear. I'm excited to hang out with fans, hang out with people that we never met before, hang out with different bands. I think it's gonna be a good time. Like it's like a vacation, like a summer camp kind of.
Right. Have you done those cruises before?
Never.
Have you been on a cruise?
Yes, I've been on a cruise.
Okay, so yeah, because some people it affects them differently.
Yeah, I know the drill on the cruise. If
Yeah.
you're not drinking 20 drinks a day, you're doing it wrong. So you got to get your money's worth. So really excited for that. And then we have a tour with Our Last Night, which is going to be a really, really cool tour. So it's Our Last Night, us, and then Rain City Drive.
Now I know that you just dropped a record this year, but is there anything in the vault or anything that you guys are working on?
You know, the vault's looking a little empty right now,
Okay.
but we are working. We're
Yeah.
avidly working to get the next song that we're going to put out
And do you have stuff that rattles around in your brain and you put it on your phone or you do something?
constantly,
Yeah.
literally constantly. Yeah. There's always a new voice memo on my phone.
Is
But is it
is
good
it
enough? I don't know until I listen back to it a day later.
oh yeah. Yeah. Is it like what is it like lyrics or is it like music or riffs or what?
It's just melodies. It's
Yeah.
just always melodies for me. Sometimes it's like a riff idea and I'll like dan, 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 like whatever.
Right.
But a lot of times it's melodies and it's just random scattered lyrics. And then later on I'll work on the lyrics.
How much does the rest of the band contribute to the writing process?
A lot. We all contribute a lot. You know, Blake, our guitar player, could write a song, write the most beautiful hook ever, and send it over, and that's where we're going. We're gonna go with that one. We're
Hmm.
gonna use that, or maybe we refine it a little bit. At the end of the day, it's my lyrics, but everybody contributes. Our bass player wrote the hook for Ketamine on the album,
Hmm.
which is a fantastic hook. So like, we all contribute to it.
Yeah. So do you miss the days of just being an internet band or you not, are you happier now?
I love touring. I do miss my home at times. I,
Hmm.
I have I have I have two dogs and I love them and I miss them very much. I have a girlfriend who I miss very much when I'm gone, but I love being on the road. Uh, Being an internet band was cool and everything like that, but I love how we feel legitimate now. I love how like this is actually what I want to do. I don't want to be just on the internet. I want to be a touring band.
Well, Brian, thanks so much for the time. We'll see you here at St. Andrews Hall coming up on December 2nd, where you kick off that tour with Escape to Fate and Falling in Reverse. And if I see you in a grocery store with your sweatpants on,
Just,
back off.
just that.
All right, dude. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for having me.